Do you think this thing we got, this mind, is unique in the universe in terms of how difficult it is to build? I-
So
Is it possible that we're the most beautiful thing that the universe has
yeah,
constructed?
both the most beautiful and the most ugly, but certainly the most complex. So look at evolutionary time. The dinosaurs ruled the Earth for 135 million years. We've been around for a million years. So 1 versus 135. So dinosaurs were extinct, about 60 million years ago, and mammals that had been happily evolving as tiny little creatures for 30 million years then took over the planet, and then dramatically radiated about 60 million years ago. Out of these mammals came the neocortex formation. So basically, the neocortex, which is sort of the outer layer of our brain, compared to our quote unquote reptilian brain, which we share the structure of with all of the dinosaurs, they didn't have that. And yet they ruled the planet. So how many other planets have still, mindless dinosaurs where strength was the only dimension ruling the planet? So there was something weird that annihilated the dinosaurs. And again, you could look at biblical things of sort of God coming and wiping out his creatures and
Yes.
to make room for the next ones. So the mammals basically sort of took over the planet and then grew this cognitive capability of this general purpose machine. And primates push that to extreme, and humans among primates have just exploded that hardware. But that hardware is selected for survival. It's selected for procreation. It's initially selected with this very simple Darwinian view of the world of random mutation, ruthless selection, and then selection for making more of yourself. If you look at human cognition, it's gone down a weird evolutionary path in the sense that we are expending an enormous amount of energy on this apparatus between our ears that is wasting, 15% of our bodily energy, 20%, like some enormous percentage of our calories go to function our brain. No other species makes that big of a commitment. That has basically taken energetic changes for efficiency on the metabolic side for humanity to basically power that thing. And our brain is both enormously more efficient than other brains, but also, despite this efficiency, enormously more energy consuming. Mm-hmm. So, and if you look at just the sheer folds that the human brain has, again, our skull could only grow so much before it could no longer go through the pelvic opening and kill the mother at every birth. So, but yet the folds continued, effectively creating just so much more capacity. The evolutionary context in which this was made is enormously fascinating, and it has to do with other humans that we have now killed off or that have gone extinct. And that has now created this weird place of humans on the planet as the only species that has this enormous hardware. So that can basically make us think that there's something very weird and unique that happened in human evolution that perhaps has not been recreated elsewhere. Maybe the asteroid didn't hit, sister Earth, and dinosaurs are still ruling, and any kind of proto-human is squished and eaten for breakfast, basically. However, we're not as unique as we like to think because there was this enormous diversity of other human-like forms. And once you make it to that stage where you have a neocortex-like explosion of, wow, we're now competing on intelligence, and we're now competing on social structures, and we're now competing on larger and larger groups, and being able to coordinate and being able to have empathy. The concept of empathy, the concept of an ego, the concept of of self-awareness comes probably from being able to project another person's intentions to understand what they mean when you have these large cognitive groups, large social groups. So me being able to sort of create a mental model of how you think may have come before I was able to create a personal mental model of how do I think. So this introspection probably came after this sort of projection and this empathy, which basically means, passion, pathos, suffering, but basically sensing. So basically empathy means feeling what you're feeling, trying to project your emotional state onto my cognitive apparatus. And I think that is what eventually led to this enormous cognitive explosion that happened in humanity. So, life itself, in my view, is inevitable on every planet. Inevitable. But the evolution of life to self-awareness and cognition and all the incredible things that humans have done, that might not be as inevitable.